All right, welcome back to Hypermail. My name is Joe, and I'm working on a copy of a Sur Ron, so whatever you want to call those, but 5,000 watt motor, big battery, the whole thing. Doing a brake job, and then also got a rear flat on here. But this video is specifically about why this bike sucks. If you're a mechanic, this bike is not fun to work on. To take the rear wheel off, it sounds pretty easy. Unbolt it and then try to take your cabling loose. But in their infinite wisdom, this has a really long electrical whip. There is no brake back in here, like on some bikes, where you can disconnect the cabling near the hub. You have to undo all of this. You have to go inside the frame here, because down here is your main electrical harness from the wheel going into the frame. It gets bundled up on the inside. You can see I have this already zip tied a bit. Then it comes back out of the frame to the controller. So you have to disconnect these wires right here. So your yellow, green, and blue here go directly to the wheel, all the way through the harness, in the inside of the frame, all the way back out. You have to go and basically disassemble the bike to be able to get the rear wheel off. If you somehow can pop the wheel and then lever the tire off while it's still connected, more power to you, but you're just going to look for a problem eventually, because you will break the wire back in here, and it's not an easy rebuild. They are rebuildable, but it's not an easy rebuild. So my recommendation, if you're doing this, is get the wheel entirely off. It sucks. You do have to effectively disassemble all the electric on the bike, and then feed it back through to reassemble it. But yeah, this bike sucks to work on. It is not fun. I wish anybody that has to do this luck. My bike rack won't support this. Many shop-based professional bike racks will not support this bike. It's way over 100 pounds. If you don't have a counterbalance on a dual arm park stand, it probably will tip over. If you've got to put it in a park stand, I would say pull the battery first, because it's going to drop 25-30 pounds off of the bike bare minimum. This wheel is really heavy too. It's a solid 25 pounds on its own. So if you take some of the weight off of the bike, it is possible to put it in a standard bike stand. This particular bike is running a seat and seat post, so you could support it that way. Again, my bike stand's not strong enough to be able to support the bike, so I'm doing this upside down. But yeah, this is why this bike sucks to work on. It is not manageable. It is not manageable the way many professional mechanics like to work on things, to try to get this up in the air. The other aspect of it too is, if you had this in the air, I would recommend one of those hydraulic lifts for bikes, like the upper end park stand that has a plate that bolts to the ground. I'd recommend that once you get it supported in there, barely have the wheel off of the ground, like an inch or two, because like on a standard bike, even on a e-bike wheel that has like an 8-pound hub motor, you can manage that wheel and get it back into the frame. This one weighs way too much. It takes two hands to do it. So if you're trying to manage the bike and a stand and the whole thing, not a great scene. So try to help yourself out. And then my other trick with this particular bike too, this is using a derailleur to help as a chain guide and tension, so that the chain doesn't slap and come off. It does have a roller chain guide as well. But one of my tricks is to go ahead and unbolt the derailleur right from the start, get the chain wrapped outside of the swing arm, and then that way you can just deal with the rim, or the wheel rim, everything alone. You don't have to fight other stuff. So that's a couple of the tricks that are there. But if you're taking this apart, bare minimum, start taking the wiring apart first, and then go from there. All right, thank you so much for watching.